Rico versus Mexico, September 14th, T-Mobile Arena. Canelo versus Berlanga, the rival. And you can see it. PBC pay-per-view, Prime Video. The unified super middleweight champion against the #1 contender, Canelo Alvarez, Edgar Berlanga.
Music: Puerto Rico versus Mexico, September 14, T-Mobile Arena. Canelo versus Berlanga, the rival. And you can see it, BBC Northeast U Prime Video, the unified super middleweight champion against the #1 contender Canelo Alvarez. Berlanga, pound for pound great and Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez will put his unified WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight world titles on the line against undefeated WBA #1 ranked mandatory contender Edgar Berlanga on Mexican Independence Day in Las Vegas. The stage is set for one of the most anticipated boxing showdowns of the year as Edgar Berlanga prepares for his monumental clash with Canelo Alvarez. The stakes couldn't be higher. Will versus will is who could break whose will, is line versus line. And you know I'm Puerto Rican, I'm young, I'm strong, and you know it's going to be fireworks. September 14th, man, you know I'm not running, we're not going nowhere, we're going to stay right there, and we're going to do what we do. Canelo makes it clear that he's not underestimating his opponent. He promises a thrilling spectacle, declaring that Berlanga will face a significant challenge, and that fans are in for an exhilarating experience. Overlook, my opponents, I know Edgar Berlanga is John is a strong, but that at the end of the day, he have a big challenge in front. It's going to be a great fight. He's going to experience something different. And the people is going to enjoy this fight. This showdown will deliver the latest chapter in the long boxing rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico, with the fighting pride of Mexico and Canelo Alvarez dueling Puerto Rico's Edgar Berlanga. Canelo is no stranger to this heated rivalry, highlighted by numerous historic matchups including Salvador Sanchez versus Wilfredo Gomez and Julio Cesar Chavez, Sinor versus Hector Chemico, as he defeated Puerto Rican Hall of Famer Miguel Cotto in one of the biggest Mexico versus Puerto Rico fights in recent memory. This event is promoted by Canelo Promotions and Promotions in association with Macram Boxing. Eddie Rosso, Canelo Alvarez's manager and trainer, discussed the upcoming fight between Canelo and Edgar Berlanga, providing insights into the preparations and the significance of the matchup. He stated, "Every day we are preparing." Rosso reflects a deep respect for Berlanga's abilities and the storied history of boxing rivalries between Mexico and Puerto Rico. He acknowledges the significance of this bout, not just for the fighters, but for the rich cultural and athletic traditions they represent. Eddie Rosso, Canelo's manager and trainer, also added, "We know that Berlanga is a good fighter, a strong, undefeated fighter. The confrontations within boxing between Mexico and Puerto Rico are always intense fights, very morbid fights, and above all, very good boxing. Puerto Rico has produced many world champions and Hall of Fame fighters. Mexico has done the same. It is going to be a very attractive fight against a great fighter in Berlanga, who's undefeated and faced some of the best fighters, competing at 168 rounds over the last few years. As the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga draws closer, both camps are deeply immersed in rigorous preparations. The bout, scheduled for September 14th, carries the weight of a historic rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico, two nations with rich boxing traditions. Fans and analysts are eager to see how Berlanga, an undefeated contender, matches up against the experienced and highly decorated Canelo. Keith Connolly, manager of Edgar Berlanga, expressed his enthusiasm for the upcoming fight between Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez. Connell's comments highlight the significance of securing this high-profile bout and the historical rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico. He stated in the press conference, "I'm excited for my guy Edgar Berlanga to get a shot at the king of boxing, Canelo Alvarez." Connell's remarks emphasized the significance of this fight for Berlanga's career and the broader boxing world, the renewed rule of the Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry brings a rich historical context about promising an electrifying atmosphere in high stakes. Keith Connolly, Beranga's manager, also said, "I want to thank all the players involved in helping me get this deal over the line. Canelo versus Berlanga is the Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry, which is the best in boxing history. Step 14 is a can't-miss event for fans around the world. Connell's gratitude towards those who facilitated the deal reflects the collaborative effort required to make such a marquee matchup happen. As the fight date approaches, fans from both nations and beyond are eagerly looking forward to what promises to be a memorable and thrilling event on September 14th. Connolly begins by acknowledging that Berlanga may not be receiving the recognition he deserves from the public and critics, suggesting that many underestimate his abilities. He highlights two key attributes of Berlanga: his youth and physical strength, indicating that these qualities make him a formidable opponent. Are overlooking Edgar, but the kid is young. He's strong, and I know for a fact he's got by emphasizing Berra's youth, strength, and will to win. Connolly seeks to counteract any doubts about Beranga's readiness and potential for success in the ring. Tom Brown, president of Promotions, highlighted the significance of the upcoming fight between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga, scheduled for Mexican Independence Day weekend. Brown's comments underscore the importance of this event in the context of both boxing and cultural celebrations. All Mexican Showdown and Cinco de Mayo weekend, and now on September 14th at the T-Mobile Arena, the Mexican fans and Puerto Rican fans are going to be in for a wild scene out in Las Vegas. Mexican Independence Day weekend has become synonymous with major boxing events, particularly those featuring Canelo Alvarez. This tradition continues to captivate fans as Canelo consistently headlines these celebrations with high-stakes fights. The upcoming bout against Edgar Berlanga on September 14th is no exception, promising to deliver an electrifying atmosphere and a thrilling contest. This event is further bolstered by the addition of the ace Landy Lara versus Danny Garcia World Championship battle as the co-main event, creating a compelling lineup for the holiday weekend. Tom Brown stated Mexican Independence Day weekend is synonymous with big Canelo Alvarez fights, and Saturday, September 14, will be the next chapter of that historic story. Brown's statement sets the stage for an exciting and significant boxing event. The fight between Canelo and Berlanga not only carries the weight of Canelo's legacy and titles, but also the rich history of the Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry. The inclusion of other high-profile matchups, such as the Lara versus Garcia bout, enhances the event's appeal, promising fans a full night of top-tier boxing. Furthermore, Tom Brown, president of Promotions, also added Canelo has long reigned as the 168 bits king and will put his 3 unified world titles up against a young power-punching contender in Edgar Berlanga as he looks to once again score a victory for his home country in the storied rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico. With the addition of the Aries Landera versus Danny Garcia World Championship battle and in the co-main event, plus more matchups to come, everything lines up for an event worthy of the holiday weekend. Live from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas in another stacked PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video, hosted at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas and broadcast as a pay-per-view event on Prime Video. This celebration of Mexican Independence Day is poised to be a memorable chapter in boxing history. Eddie Hearn, chairman of Matchroom Boxing, expressed his excitement about Edgar Beranga's upcoming fight against Canelo Alvarez. Hearn's comments reflect the anticipation and significance of the bout for Beranga's career, as well as the high expectations for the event. Eddie stated, "Edgar Beranga's nickname is the Chosen One, and I'm so happy he got the golden pick for September 14. The fight between Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez has generated significant buzz, particularly with Beranga's impressive rise in the boxing world. Since signing with Matchroom Boxing, Berlanga has been positioned for major opportunities, and this fight represents a pinnacle moment in his career." Eddie Hearn also added, "This is the fight we dreamed about when we signed Edgar last year, and he is ready to give everything for himself, his family, and for Puerto Rico. You have a young, unbeaten, fearless puncher ready to tackle one of the all-time greats. Get ready for drama in Las Vegas." Hearn's statement underscores the significance of the upcoming fight for Berlanga and the excitement surrounding it by referring to Berlanga as the Chosen One and highlighting the long-awaited nature of this bout. Hearn emphasizes the high stakes and immense potential of the fight. Eddie Hearn also shared his thoughts on the potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. In his statement, Hearn highlighted the significance and challenges surrounding this matchup, emphasizing Berlanga's journey and right to face Canelo. Hearn also added, "Now, We have a real shot in Edgar Berlanga. It's been interesting to see the response. I think Edgar's been overlooked, disrespected. He's the #1 challenger with the WBA. He's the mandatory challenger. He's earned the right to this shot. When we signed him 13 months ago, we promised him a shot at the great Canelo Alvarez. As things moved on, that shot looked as though it became more difficult. And as always, it's the lottery ticket of boxing to land the shot against Canelo Alvarez. He emphasized Berlanga's credentials and determination. Heard's comments highlight Berlanga's impressive track record and